I do have the Judgment card in the past position, which indicates to me that you're kind of like life is starting to stabilize for you, so you're kind of putting yourself out there more to date people. And the first person that you've recently encountered and you might have like an inkling, you might have like romantic inclinations for, you're going through a period of reassessment to see whether this is going to be everything that you've hoped for, okay? So let's pull the rest of the cards and then we'll read into it. Okay, so in general, a lot of you might be dealing with a fire sign, which is interesting. It's a dynamic combination, an earth sign and a fire sign. So let's look at this situation. Okay, so it is going to be like a fire sign, somebody who's very, very dynamic, somebody who gives you a very different perspective in the way you live your life. Because I know that as earth signs, you tend to be very cautious and I feel like a lot of you are risk takers, but you take calculated risk and you're not as spontaneous. So this new fire sign that is coming through into your life, you feel like there are a lot of things. You know, the Two of Cups indicates a relationship where both parties are like equal. They might even be like the same height, the same body type. They might have like a lot of the same interests. It's sort of like the meeting of minds where two people are very similar. Whereas this person, this fire sign ignites your passion, but there are innate differences and you're not really sure if it's stable enough to move forward with. I would say, you know, you're in the new phase in your life where you're getting yourself out there and you're starting the date. So be open-minded. And I do feel the fire sign has really, really strong, has a strong personality, is very dynamic, and is somebody that is going to bring you a lot of emotional happiness, okay? The advice here is the Sun card, which is also indicative of a fiery energy. This is somebody that will ignite your passion, that is going to teach you about being spontaneous, about grabbing opportunities when they come, and also allowing, not putting opportunities that basically fall on your lap to go to waste, okay? So it's a beautiful energy. I do feel as well innately we have the Justice card. So this is a very balanced relationship where both parties come and go as they please. You know, it's not an emotionally heavy burden like you had to contend with in the past. A lot of you were in relationships with people who might have been like emotionally immature, where you were like carrying the emotional burden, and you don't really want that anymore. So the universe is putting this person, this fire sign, in your path to snap you out of that funk and to also like reignite your passion, and also to like it's basically like that reset button into the love focus in your life, okay? So you're traveling into new relationships with a lot less emotional baggage, with a lot less like I wouldn't say lower expectation because that has a negative connotation to it. You're not settling. You're just redefining what it is that you want, and more than anything, you really want a carefree, a very exciting relationship. You want something that is not mired in emotional conflict and drama and baggage. Okay, so it's a very beautiful energy, actually. Going back to what I was saying about this card, I got sidetracked. So this is the Justice card. So at the heart of this relationship is philosophically, you might not, you know, have the same ideas of what it means to be in a relationship. But I do feel that when it comes to life in general, you both are on the same page. You don't want a big emotional burden, and you don't want something that is too toxic, that is emotionally draining. You want a light, airy, happy relationship in which both parties can come and go as they please. There's no hostility, there's no lingering like emotional drama. There's also like very little jealousy. It's a very, very balanced relationship. Both partners give and take. You text, they respond, they text, you respond, vice versa. And if one person is late in responding to text messages or phone calls, the other person doesn't assume the worst. So overall, it is a very lighthearted type of energy. At the same time, I do feel in your external environment. This is the Nine of Wands in the reverse, which indicates the person that you're in a relationship with, the person that is this relationship partner that you're thinking about, okay? I do feel that this person comes from a lot of broken relationships. I do feel that. They also have a lot of life experiences. They're quite a character. They've been through it all. They have an exciting life. They have a lot of stories to share. They have a lot of funny anecdotes to share about life adventures. So you're very fascinated by them, and they likewise are very fascinated by you. Because I do feel in general, a lot of Capricorns have lived like very, very interesting lives. They've been through a lot. They've had a lot of emotional ups and downs, and somehow they carry through it with a great sense of humor. And it doesn't like ruin your faith in people and faith in life. Okay, so you have a very optimistic energy, and more than anything, this person is even more optimistic than you are. So I do feel they've been through a lot. They have also bounced around quite a bit. So one of the only danger I can foresee is that they might have emotional blockages that might interfere with, intimacy. So seeking true intimacy might be a little bit of a challenge with this new fire sign. But if you are entering it with, with the sole interest of wanting to create a lighthearted, possibly open relationship where you're seeing other people, it's perfect. If you are thinking about more of like a long-term stable relationship, it can work, but the only problem to overcome is fears of intimacy on their end, okay? Not so much on yours, but on their end. And let me just see here. Your hopes and fears here is you do want, the completion in emotional fulfillment. And I do sense that this relationship itself, it's very light, very airy, so it might be lacking in the long run in the emotional depth that you're looking for. And because both partners are kind of like, this is you, and this is your partner. Both are very, very solitary cards, which indicates to me that there is very little grounding. Okay, so you might not see eye to eye on a lot of things like family planning, long-term prospects of the future of this relationship in general. So that's the challenge of this relationship, to set it down into some stability. But innately, both parties are able to, give and take equally. So it's balance, but it needs a little bit more grounding. It needs a little bit more structure. So if you are hoping to settle this into a traditional type of relationship, it can work. It's a little bit challenging. It can work, but the groundwork, or at least the foundation, needs to be laid from the get-go. Okay, so that there are no surprises down the line. So aside from that, I do feel that you are starting a new phase in your romantic life for a lot of you. For those of you who are single, I do feel that you are going to soon interact with a fire sign if you get yourself out there. There is going to be a very dependable energy about this person, even though they're a fire sign, especially a Knight of Wands. They come and go, but I do feel innately there is a lot of stability here, because he or she is showing up in the upright position next to the Justice card, which indicates to me a very balanced, a very soothing, harmonious type of relationship. There's also a great deal of like intellectual rapport. Both of you are sharing your life experiences. I also sense there's a competition between you and the partner as to who has lived more, is what I'm getting. Like, who has lived more, who has been through more hardships. It's almost like a competition to see, but it's not like it's not a bad energy. I do feel it is a very playful, competitive energy, so it's really good for you. At the same time, I do sense here the crowning energy is the Two of Wands. A lot of you, a new beginning came in the very, very recent past, and it is going to redefine the way you plan your life for the next 2 years, okay? I know it's a very broad reading, especially for one of these, mid-month readings, but I do feel a new beginning is coming through. It's corroborated as well by the Death card, which indicates, endings being left behind, new beginnings emerging. And because of it, there's a foundation that you're starting to lay for yourself for the next 2 years of your life, all through 2016 and a little bit of 2017, okay? So for we're in August, so I do feel that for all of 2016 and possibly the first half of 2017, you're starting to lay the foundation for yourself. You're starting to figure out where you want to be next year, where you want to be the same time frame in 2017 as well. So there's an implementation stages or planning stages happening, and then it's being implemented so that you can solidify a lot of the plans that you have laid out for yourself and see how things will culminate for next year and the year after that, so that you have a better, I guess, like a game plan approaching your future. A lot of you are on the threshold of a very, very important change in your philosophical outlook when it comes to your career as well, okay? So a lot of you are approaching your career with a lot of enthusiasm, with a lot of like carefree, lighthearted energy in which you're open to, I guess, like advice, and even like if the universe, guidance from the universe, but even if you're, for example, on one linear track and the universe steps in and tells you, that's not the way we really want you to go, so why don't you look into this? You're open-minded enough to accept guidance that is coming in, and you're open-minded enough and flexible enough at this point to really, I guess, like take a detour or even like change your life around altogether if need be. Okay, if you sense that's coming in, I do feel that it's possible for you at this point. You're not in it too deep to where you can't backtrack. So the next 2 years are going to be extremely important for a lot of you. A lot of you. Take the time to plan that. Put relationships aside, but I do feel this is a light-hearted type of relationship, so it's not going to affect you, immensely. But I do sense as well, it's a relationship that is not, it's focused on complementarity. It's not so much on sameness. It's more like, it's exciting because both parties are very different, but they're able to come together and offer, different perspectives that enhances one another's lives. So it's very, very favorable for you all. What's in your environment that you're not aware of? I do feel that a lot of you, this is a card of release, okay? If you think of the Four of Pentacles, is the man holding on tightly to Four Pentacles. He's holding on a little bit too tight where he can't really, get up and go as he pleases. So in the reverse position, a lot of you had to let go of exes, old baggage, or work situations, or even like resigning yourself to knowing when a certain path that you've laid out for yourself for the past few years hasn't been working out. So you're releasing all of these things and you're allowing the new situations to start to gel together, so that you're allowing new opportunities to present themselves, or you are starting to like solidify new opportunities for the next 2 years, okay?